Alright guys, Supreme Kami here. So this time around we are going to be taking a look at the melee version. So for those who are wondering what kind of part to be exchanging for as far as let's say your melee counter build. So yesterday I dropped one for the shooting base build. So today we are going to be talking about the melee version. So this is pretty much all the part that I have used. So they're obviously part that you can kind of follow along. Obviously the most important part is definitely going to be the portrait, but for melee compared to shooting based build, I did run into a lot of obstacles just because of the fact that melee build all in all does not have a lot of portrait in general, trying to balance out that regular power boosting and then that damage trait and that buff trait. So there was just a lot of kind of like mix and match to see which one is better, which one is not good. But yeah, this is pretty much what I think is okay. This is not the best. I will not really call this one like the best of the best compared to the shooting base build because I couldn't really find that middle ground of, let's say, trying to get like a 300 power boosting and then like another 300 for the damage trait and then like another, let's say, 80 or 90% buff trait. This one is actually a little bit worse. I think for power boosting is roughly about 400-ish, and then as for the regular or as for the damage trait, I think we are running about 185-ish, just because I did want to throw in a little bit of those buff skill effects. So this one is actually a little bit worse just in general, right? So that's why you don't really see a lot of people running melee build as far as anything within the competitive scene. Let's say arena, you would not really see people running that. Like anyone within like the top 100 will probably not be doing that. So as far as like a melee build, in my personal preference, is pretty much going to be for like a fun build. Let's say you got tired of using your shooting based build, you want to hop over that. So me personally, I don't really take my melee build too serious. Whatever I have for my shooting based build, I kind of slap down onto whatever my highest melee stat build is and call it a day, just because of the fact that melee build is pretty much just right bad. But let's kind of do quickly talk about the part that I have, so you guys can kind of pause and take a look, and then we'll go over like the summary version of it, so I don't spend like bajillion years explaining what I use here. So pretty much things that I did kind of went ahead. The wow factor is I double up. So big scale, I subbed that to its counterpart, the non-altered version, so it's not technically big scale, but we still get like the same part, same name, bonus. So that this one right here, for example, give you guys a quick rundown, it's gonna be giving me a 55%, sub slot bonus right there. So 8,300 for the sub slot. So this is pretty wild. So that's pretty much something that I did want to show you. There are a few places that I actually did that. Let's say the heat lance. This one should be from the Tologies F endless version. So this one does not have a big scale, so I just still went ahead and double up. So this one does provide me a rough 35%. So yeah, it's not bad, but honestly, this is pretty much on more or less on like a simulation type of thing, because in like an actual in-game, I don't know how many people can actually do this unless you're like a big spender. This is pretty much going to be something that's a little bit impossible in my honest opinion, just because some stuff like this one, I kind of double up once again just for that nice ratio to EBS, like the quote unquote like the best that possible. Same thing once again for the shield. The round shield is from your Wing Zero endless world piece version. So if anyone is wondering on that one, but yeah, there's a lot of doubling up. But other than that, let's take a look at the summary, the simulator result, and we'll kind of take a look at what's going on. Basic information, just pretty much going over to the base parameters. So we are looking at some pretty good armor. As far as the melee attack, we are looking at 206,000, so that's actually really strong. Melee defense and shot defenses are kind of like similar. Like, why? What's going on? I don't know. But as far as the job lessons, I went for the outfitter. It doesn't really matter. If you're, let's say, a portrait condition does not require you to use a specific job lessons for melee centric, it doesn't really matter by all means. As far as active word tag, I went for the very traditional one. High fire power, pro tag close combat. Going over to the gears, I went for the 5-star version, the gold chest gear for the melee right there. As far as the right arm gear, went for the 40%, so that's the highest possible currently. As far as the left arm gear, went for obviously the Outrider First version or the purple version. And then as for the O'Reilly gear, so that one is going to be your War Tag one. I went for the Pro Tag, probably still one of the better one. If not, still up there. Unless you're, let's say, running mobile butter tag as your build, you will probably be using Pro Tag. As for the last piece, the electric gear, I went for the P attribute versus tag attribute for that, type advantage, plus a little bit more boosting to myself and etc. Part wise are going to be as follows. So in terms of like the totality, let's say the max out everything, we're talking about as far as like everything combined, 420% power boosting. So that is combining your EXQ, melee. So those two are kind of jammed together. Let's say your damage trait. So things that have these right there, like another one right there, and then like another one down right here. So that total up to 185. So significantly less than what I could do for the shooter base build, just because the option are just not really there for like melee build, or at least what I try to find. Last but not least, as for your buff traits, I went for this one here, the buff to skill effects 35%, and then another one towards the ranged weapon. So this one right here, we have the another one right there. So this one is a squat buff EX effects up to 30%. So this one in total is going to be a 65%. So it's better than nothing, honestly. I'm giving you a little bit of that. So yeah, I don't think there's anything that is going to correlate, let's say, that would just, let's say, make it not work, because we have, so as far as this specifically, as far as, let's say, the melee weapon, what you have to use a blade category, right? That is actually going to be for both these two. So good thing they're both blade category. If not, I mean, like, I really don't know what else to run. As far as this one, you do have to be 100% of the time running a twin rifle category. So those are going to be two stipulations as far as this build itself. It could be a little bit bothersome because maybe you want to use it like a melee EX skill or melee weapon EX skill, but it has to be a blade. So there's definitely going to be a lot of sacrifice as far as doing this build, because we are out here chasing like the best part trait possible, the potentially the highest stats possible. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it for the actual simulator build. But if we do take a look at my personal own build, it's nowhere near that. So let's kind of transfer over here. So this is my actual melee build. So we are running it on a speed attribute because we were just doing the multi-mission this last week, so that's why I still have this sub and haven't really changed things up. But as far as my build, it's a little bit different. I really don't have a lot of those buff trait or those damage trait. What I actually did, I actually went ahead and used this, right? This one. This one is actually a little bit more, I guess, doing a lot of sacrificing, because what I primarily want is just a lot of these damage rate, which as far as melee, I just don't have them yet. So I did went ahead and use the new Gundam DLS version rifle and just kind of get that right there. There's probably some other places that I have done that as well, right, or not? It would have been this one. If I were using this one on the leg part, I'll probably be using this one once again. I would probably be using this. I think one situation I was actually using this leg right here, the new Gundam once again, because of the damage right there. So 35%, honestly, I'll take it. But yeah, other than that, my melee build is obviously just not on par. It's definitely really outdated. Just don't really have a lot of those really top tier part anymore, just because I really have been focusing on the shooter based build. But other than that, I think that is pretty much it as for the build itself. I don't think there's anything much to kind of show you guys. Still using the Gundam Helios just because there's not anything else I can use. Like this one, honestly, it's the same thing as the Destiny that I kind of show you guys, double 40% trait, but this one just does not have the 7% part. Your Raven Gundam, the final battle version, something that to the big scale Lupus Rex, for that buff trait, and then for that EX skill damage right there. And as for the arm part, I went for the Gundam Haruts because I still want the buff trait right there, so it still comes in handy. So these are some, let's say additional options that you guys can be looking at. This one, I honestly did not find anything that I can use for late part, so I actually went ahead and used the double Quanta. This one is still usable, 35%, 30 to 35 ratio, so I'm like, I will take it, because I just don't have it any better. So yeah, This one still stay the same. The Wing Gundam Zero and also Endless version. So this one I actually did sub it itself. So this way you guys can see they are the same part, but one is alterated and then the other one is unalterated. So that's why we were able to get up to a what? If I do this, can I do this right here and show you guys? So 50.5%. So kind of busted right there. And as far as the melee weapon, I am actually using the heat lance itself. So this is actually something I do. um, the main part itself, they're both the same. So it's not impossible. It is actually possible. So yeah, that is some nice stats. Pretty good. This one should be the O, the large meat rifle. And then some of that to the new Gundam right there. So just for another quick review for you guys. And this one, as for the shield, I did actually went for the round shield for this one right here. Because I would normally use the costume shield, but it's since I just want one-shot things, I don't really need it. So as far as this one, I did actually sub that to the absorb shield just for the pro tag. This one was not something to be serious about. That's for the sub slot, so I just couldn't find anything else. But and then last but not least, as for the pilot, I did went for the Mikaski and then Judo Ashta. So these two are not really rerun yet. So as far as people looking at the simulator version, they may be questioning how do I get those two. They're not actually out yet, or they are out yet, but they're not really attainable at this point in time. So you guys do have to wait for it's the inevitable build project rerun, or aka like the one that we've been having so far. But other than that, that is gonna be pretty much it as for the simulator version. You know, aka like what is the best possible part you guys can put in a melee build, and do let me know which one of the part that you guys might be following, if possible. But there's definitely going to be a lot of work up as far as getting to straight up, so that's definitely going to be the hardest factor. But other than that, that is going to be pretty much it, and then I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.